Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Heather. I'm a Songbird Stamper. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from the UK. And I'm here today to show you two things. Firstly, how to make a pop-up Z fold card. Thanks to Jan B, another UK demonstrator, for her tutorial on this. It's fab, isn't it? And it stands up just like that. Really quite a special card. So I'm going to show you how to make this. But firstly, I wanted to talk to you about Stampin' Up's product coordination. I've been crafting for luckily not long before I found Stampin' Up, a few years, and I just used to get so fed up with things not matching. You know, you want to use a certain colour pink, and you've got different papers, you've got different cardstock, you've got different ribbons, and so I thought this Tech for Stampers blog hop Pretty in Pink was an ideal opportunity to talk to you about colour coordination. So can you see here I've got the pink, this is polished pink, this colour. Polished pink cardstock. I've used polished pink ink to stamp my greeting and my bows and blooms stamps here. This one is just stamped directly onto card, and then this one is what they call stamped off. So I've stamped onto a scrap piece of paper first and then stamped onto the card to get a lighter tone, but it's the same colour. Then we've got polished pink ribbon. I don't know if you can see that actually. There we go. Polished pink ribbon. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. We've got polished pink embellishments. And polished pink gems. So basically, because Stampin' Up work in colour, in the range of 50 colours, you've got polished pink gems there as well. They're nice, aren't they? I like those ones. They work in a range of 50 colours. Everything comes in those colours, so you never need to scrabble around anymore for things that match. We just know it's going to match. So that's the first thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you about today. It was a massive game changer for me when I found out about that, and so I wanted to highlight that to you guys as well, something I think Stampin' Up does really, really well. And then I want to show you how to make this card. However, I don't have any of this paper left, so I'm going to show you in grey. So while the title of this big blog post is Pretty in Pink, and this is my pink card, I am going to show you how to make a different version of this in a different colourway and using different stamp set, although not quite as heavily decorated as this one. And it'll go as 5x7, so it'll go in a 5x7 envelope. Right, let's get to making. All the measurements for this are going to be over on my blog, so I'll pop a link in the description below, so you're not going to need to worry about writing anything down. But this is 10 inches by 7 inches, so 10 inches by 7, scored on the long side at 2.5 and 5 inches, or 2.5 and 5 inches. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold one of those one way, and we're going to fold one of them back on itself. And just use a burn folder to fold and burnish score line there. It's quite a quick and simple card, this one, to be honest. It doesn't take too long to put together. It's just quite a lot of bits, that's all. Then you'll need some basic white card, and this is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And this is going to go straight onto the grey. And then you need two little pieces, 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. I often get questions, can you work in inches? And that's obviously from people who work in Imperial who have watched some of my metric videos. But people who know me will know I work in both metric and Imperial. I don't interchangeably, so I don't often kind of sit there and work the differences out, but it's whatever works for the project that I'm using at the time, whatever I think measurement works best. So sometimes you'll see me work in metric, sometimes in Imperial, and if I'm really going to confuse you, I'll use the both in the same project. Naughty, huh? And they just don't, I just don't find they convert that nicely sometimes. So people say to me, oh, can you do the conversion? And it's like, well, sometimes you actually need to design a completely different project. And I work full time, and I just don't have time, sadly, to make 2 projects up for the different measurements. So my apologies. Maybe one day I will, but it takes me time to do that because I don't find it that easy converting either. But you could just grab a ruler. I guess, do American rulers have even centimetres on, I wonder? Ours do. Our rulers have both metric and imperial on. What I'm going to do then is stick these panels on. These panels are, this one here was 6.5 by 4.5, and this one is 2 inches by 6.5, and this one is 2 inches by 6.5 as well. But like I say, all the measurements are going to be over on my blog. And it's a real great card, this one, for using up your design series paper. If you've got lots left over, although I haven't anymore because I took all my papers to a class the other day because the catalogue was retiring and I let people go mad with making their projects, and they all had a good time making this card. Then, so that's your base card. Really, really quick and easy. And what we're going to do now is work on our squares. So you've got 3 squares cut, one 3 by 3 inches and two 2.5 by 2.5 inches. And you've got 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, 2 1/2 by 2 1/2, and 2 by 2. So can you see I've used paper from the same colour family? That's what I love about the Stampin' Up Design Series paper. It all coordinates, but it looks different on those panels. I want it to stand out from that base card. And the same on the pink one. I used the same pink colour, polished pink, but I did it in quite boldly contrasting actually. Have a look at that one. So this was a really, really kind of subtle paper, alcohol ink kind of effect, really gorgeous. And this one's quite a bold design. I just wanted that to stand out. So let's get these panels made up. It is sunny here today, which is great. I've been out in the garden this morning. I've planted up my sweet peas. We've cut down some heather and I've been to the tip. My other half has mowed the lawn and I did some weeding. So all in all, quite a productive morning. And then I thought I'd pop on and make a video for you. Sometimes it's just easier to see these things than it is in the writing. Read a blog post, but actually to watch a video makes all the difference. So once you've got your 3 panels sorted, you're going to want to cut one last piece of card, and that measures 4 inches by 3 inches, and you're going to score it on the long side at 1 inch, 2 inch and 3 inches, and that's going to create, once you've folded it like this, if you can see that in the light, it's going to create our support structure. Okay, so we're ready basically to assemble this card. Oops. So I'm going to do this with it laying flat and closed, and you want to take your 2 small triangles, or 2 small squares, sorry, and you're going to line up the top and bottom point here with the middle crease line on your card. Line the top point up against the top, and the same with this one. You're going to line the bottom point up against the bottom, and then you're going to line it up so it's all central. These 2 points in the middle are going to overlap ever so slightly, but that's okay. So when you glue, just glue on half that piece of card, line the top up on the top, bottom on the bottom, stick it down. Same on this one, glue on half. You could sit there and measure it if you wanted to, but I know most of us don't have time to do that. Bottom point lined up on the score line, top points just lining up to everything else. And that there is the front of our card. So now we need to make this support structure. What I'm going to do, first of all, is just grab a ruler. And I'm going to quickly measure from the top to the bottom of the card is 7 inches. See, my ruler's got metric and imperial on it here, so 7 inches. And I'm just going to make a little mark at 2 inches and 5 inches. I'm just doing it slightly in from those so that it's not visible. I don't think it's the end of the world if it is. You can always rub it out. And then with your piece of cardstock like this, so this is where your flap is. Yeah, you're going to pop some glue. You could use Tombow, you could use Fast Fuse or Stampin' Seal Plus rather, or tear and tape, red tape, whatever you wanted to. And you're going to line it up so that the middle score line is in line with the middle of the card. And it's between the 2 pencil marks that we just made. Okay. And I really ought to wait for this to dry because I didn't do this in class and I had all sorts of issues with it coming apart. While that's drying, I'm just going to pop some glue on this other side. Obviously you can take your time with this and then just close that one down. And then that's going to be your support structure there. Now while I wait for that to dry, I'll just run you through my decoration. All I've done is I've gold heat embossed one of the cranes from the stamp set that goes with this paper. And it's this Crane of Fortune stamp set. So this one here, I've just heat embossed that in gold onto white. And I've got the words Happy Anniversary stamped in smoky slate onto basic white card and then onto smoky slate card, which is what the card base is for my card as well. And that's cut out with one of the stitch rectangles. So I've got those two to decorate with. So this hopefully is dry now and it will close. Okay, so there's our support structure. That's what we're going to use to pop up our third panel. And this is our third panel. So what we want to do is butt it up against the left hand edge. Okay, but then when we close this down, because this is where the third panel is going to go, when we close it down it sticks out ever so slightly. So we need to rectify this. The way we're going to do that is whichever way up you want it, flip it up the other way. Okay, butt it up again. Make sure you've got it kind of lined up where you want it to go. And just make a pencil mark where it overhangs at the top and the bottom. Do make sure you've got it all lined up first. Make sure, take your time. Okay, so can you just see that? I'm not sure you can see that. So I've just made a pencil mark where it meets the grey card at the top and the bottom. And all I'm going to do is snip between those pencil marks. And now we're going to turn it back round the right way. This is the bit that I've cut off. That's going to butt up against here. And now when I close it, it's going to meet the end of this card beautifully. Okay, so we're going to stick that down. All we're going to do is pop a little bit of glue just on that end there. You don't want to glue too much because if you glue too much, it's going to end up sticking to your card base rather than just your support, which is where you want it. Line that up so that it's in the middle. Close it down, make sure you're happy with it. You get a bit of wiggle room with Tombow and then hold that closed and wait for it to dry. And it depends how much patience you've got. Now, doesn't it? Now's the test. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals out. And I'm trying to think about where I want my greeting to go. It's not going to be massively heavily decorated, this piece. My last one was This one I had stamps, I've got a greeting on a circle, I've got gems, I've got the gold foil. This is using the Boughs and Blossoms punch and stamp set. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And lovely. However, I want to go a bit more simplistic. Lots of the ladies actually in the card just left it as it was. They were going to maybe decorate it a little bit more at home. So I'm not sure quite how to decorate this one yet. I really should have thought about this beforehand. Maybe I'll do the crane there and the happy anniversary in the middle. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? I think we'll go with that. So I'm going to pop some dimensionals, certainly on the happy anniversary. I just want that to stand out a little bit in the middle. I was thinking I would have the crane in the middle. Oh, actually, oh, decisions, people. What do we think? I think actually that does look a bit nicer. Yeah, let's go for that. So we're going to pop this up on dimensionals, the crane. I might put 5, I might go wild. You could decorate this in so many different ways, this card. That's going to live on there like that. And then this one, again, make sure that when you glue, if you're only going to glue on half the side, okay, I'm going to put dimensionals on, but I'm only going to put them on half the side. Because you don't want it to stick to this main bit here. And then line that up where you want it. We'll pop in the envelope like that, and then there is our card. Gorgeous happy anniversary card. It will go large letter. It's quite bulky, so it's going to have to go into a large letter, I think. But you could add a few gems on there. You could add on what you want, but actually sometimes clean, simple is the way to go. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked what you saw, please do subscribe. I'm always bringing you new content, new videos, and later in the month I'm going to start a weekly, hopefully, according to my shift work, a weekly YouTube live video on a Thursday evening, and that'll be from about 7:30 until 8:30. Let's go with 7:30 until 8:30 for now. So that's all I've got for you today. There's my 2 cards. I'll bring the other one in as well. Please do hop around the rest of the gang's blog posts to see loads more ideas on the theme of Pretty in Pink. And if you'd like to purchase any of the supplies you saw me use today, as long as they're still current, you can head to the link. That's in my the link to my shop is in the description below as well, and you can purchase any of the products that you've seen here today. And thank you if you shop with me in advance. Thank you for all of your support. Take care. I'll see you all again really soon. Bye for now.